Cold Steel SR1. And we got a couple other Cold Steels here. This is just a few of the ones that I own. I'm a big Cold Steel fan. I know a lot of people don't like them, but I really do. And like I said, this is 3 of, I don't know, about 15 that I own. But mainly this review is about this one because from the start, this is the SR1, the Storm Cloud, and the Bush Ranger. But from the start, out of the 3, this is my favorite knife out of the 3. It's just, man, it's really, really nice. It's the biggest one out of the 3. It's the heaviest one out of the 3. It's got the thickest blade. See, these other ones aren't slouches, especially this one. This one's got a very thick blade on it. If you hadn't seen the blade on this SR1, then you'd probably think this one is very thick. Now, I think I like the blade shape of this one just a little bit better than that one. However, this one's a little bit shorter, and the handle, even though the handle feels really great, I wish the texturing from this handle on the SR1 was on this handle. And if it was the same size as the SR1, I think I would prefer this one. I kind of envision these knives as everyday carry knives. I know that may scare some people. I'm like, man, how could you carry a knife like that all day long? I just do. You know, it doesn't bother me. You know, it's a little big. It's a little big. But it's doable, and it doesn't feel like you're carrying something this heavy. And this one's like 7 ounces, 7.5 ounces. It's a heavy knife. You know, when you got it in your hand, it just feels substantial. It feels like a fixed blade. And this is probably the closest thing to a fixed blade that you're going to get on the market. Can it fail? Yeah. You know, if you do something, you know, enough, you can get it to fail. But under even heavy use, I don't think that you're going to get any one of these 3 to fail. Like I said, this one's a Storm Cloud. This is a really nice knife. The thing I don't like about this knife is it's hard to open, and it's a smooth texture. It's kind of a looker knife, in my opinion. I don't carry this one. I wouldn't carry this one. It's a little too expensive, and it's just too nice. It's kind of, like I said, like a looker knife. I do like these thumb studs on both this knife and this knife better than this one. I wish they would have put this on there, because it's a waveable knife. You can, when you pull it out of your pocket, you can hit that part right there on your pocket, you know, and when you pull it out, it just goes swap. It just opens up beautifully. This one, not so much. This one doesn't work as good as this one. It's just kind of the geometry of the handle and the blade and everything. It's not big enough almost to do it, even though it's almost the same size. It's not quite big enough. You just feel like you're gonna cut yourself or something with that one. So I kind of don't like that. You know, like I said, this is just kind of a looker knife. Out of the 3, it's my least favorite as far as functionality. You know, either one of these 2 knives right here are just fabulous knives. You know, this one's a little bit lighter. I think 4.5, 5 ounces. You can look. You probably already know the weight and stuff. And it's really not about the weight. It's how they feel. It's how they carry, and that's what I can bring you. You know, as I've carried this one for 6-8 months nonstop. I carried this one before because this is the one that I had before this one is this one, and it carried great. But I always felt like this one, it doesn't carry quite as deep. It doesn't feel like, so you got a little more sticking out. Even though this isn't a deep carry knife, just always felt like this one could fall out. This one never, I mean, because of that texturing underneath and stuff. I've lost more knives than I own. Kershaw's are really bad for that, in my opinion, and I think this knife would be the same way. It could fall out as it starts coming out and stuff because there's nothing to grab onto it. And that could be a downfall for this knife because some people don't like that texture underneath. I happen to, but it's hard to deploy. It's not a fast deploying knife, but I like that it's solid in your pocket. It's not going anywhere. you know, they're 120, 150, you know, whatever you can find them for. I think I paid about 110 for this one. I recommend eBay. I buy most stuff off eBay, even if it's a little bit more. By $1 or $2, you know, you get, if you got the eBay bucks, which I recommend, you get money back, you know, every 3 months that you can buy something. So, and they run specials where you can get like 10%. You know, it's a good deal in my opinion. It's better than Amazon, but that's for another discussion. I think Amazon's overpriced, and Amazon Prime, I don't have to pay anything to get stuff back on eBay. It's free. So. Like I said, that's another video. If anybody's watching this and they want me to do a video on Amazon and you know, Amazon versus eBay, I would be glad to. But it's probably hundreds of thousands of videos on that. But I really didn't see a video, you know, comparing these three. Not that this one is kind of a, you know, in a league of its own. I have seen these two, this one and this one, compared. And you know, people did a great job, and I think a lot of people prefer this one because it's a little bit smaller and it feels really good. You know, they talk about hot spots and stuff, and you know, it's just that kind of stuff doesn't really bother me. I mean, unless it's something really bad, and I can definitely feel that this knife would have more of that. You know, the hot spots. Not that it's anything that, you know, anything that's bad. It's really not. You know, the deployment on this knife is really nice, and you can just, that snap is just really nice. This one right here, you can hear the snap on this one isn't as substantial as the other one. This one right here, let's see if I can do it. I got this lanyard on there. You can take it and do a little flick deployment. Is pretty cool. So with these lanyards on here, sometimes if you do that, you got to make sure you get it out of the way. You know, this blade is just cool, man. It's just, you know, the videos and the pictures, I don't think do it justice. I really don't. Because out of the three, this was the last one that I bought, and you know, I was a little lukewarm on this one, but I was like, well, you know, I bought this one. And I bought this one. I liked it so much. I'm like, well, you know what? I'm going to buy the SR1. And ironically enough, out of these three knives, not like I said, I've got other cold steels, but kind of higher end, a little bit higher end cold steels. Let's put it that way. I said I was a little more lukewarm on this, thinking that, you know, just kind of plain Jane looking, and it is. And you know, it ended up turning out to be my favorite out of the three, and probably my favorite cold steel overall. And it's kind of weird that it's just a plain Jane knife. I really like this pocket clip, this enlarged pocket clip. It really bites on. And you know, if you got dress pants or something, you know, I don't think you'd be wanting to carry this one anyway. I think if you got dress pants, this is the knife that you want to carry. You know, like I said, this is a looker. It's just a beautiful knife. This one, you know, it's a heavy duty, you know, heavy use knife. But it can do EDC stuff very easily. I mean, I always like big knives. I had a Cold Steel Recon 1. Now that didn't carry as good as this one because the pocket clip was way too far down, and it just didn't lock on as good. I love the knife. I'm not saying, and it was an older one. It was an older one with the Axis lock on it, and it was a cool knife, but you could feel the weight. This one carries good where you don't feel that weight, in my opinion. And, you know, in the same way as this one. This one, I actually feel like it feels a little heavier than this one. You know, I know that's just a perception thing, but, you know, I think this clip being it's wider, it distributes more of the weight, you know, where it's not moving around as much. You know, and this one's got S35 VN steel as this one does, and this one's got the CPM 20 CV, I think it is. See that, and this stuff right here is supposed to be really hard to resharpen. I haven't cut anything with this one. This is supposed to be, you know, one of the, you know, a top tier steel, where these are top tier, but they're just a little bit below it in edge retention, You know, but these are way higher than most, you know, AUS 8A and stuff like that, you know, which are fine because they're easy to resharpen. That's one of the great things about AUS 8A or AUS 8. You know, they're easy to resharpen. These I haven't resharpened either. You know, all three of these I haven't. Said I haven't cut anything with this one. But I can tell you with this S35VN, it's just when you're going through something, there's less grab, even with this thick blade. Even with this thick blade, man, and that is a substantially thick blade for a folding knife. You can see a little bit of, and that's kind of cool how it takes on a little bit of grime, should I say grime, just from being in your pocket, you know, and rubbing up against things, and you know, it takes a little bit of, darkens it up a little bit, in a good way. In a good way. If I'd say that the only complaint that I have about this knife is every now and then it when you close it, it can have a little bit of wobble when it's closed. It's not doing it right now. And this right here can come loose. So easy fix, Loctite it, or you know, whatever your method is, and you can adjust that. This one I haven't had that. You know, I envision this as a really good hunting knife. Just a good, you know, skinning knife, you know, for gutting a deer. Probably ever so slightly better than this one. Not that this one couldn't do it, but I would envision this one being just a little bit better than this one. Either one of these, but like I said, I really like this blade. I wish they put this blade on that knife in that size and that thickness. You know, this style and this right here, man, that would be perfection. You know, even making this one a little bit bigger, I would totally be okay making this one a little bit bigger, putting this clip with this texture on this style of handle. I'd be okay with that too. So either which way, you know, this blade on that handle, with that handle being that big, you know, but having this blade the size of this one, you know, thickness and everything, or taking, you know, making this handle, you know, textured, making this handle textured, and putting a little bit bigger pocket clip on there. I think that would really improve this one. But this one's fine. Probably out of the three, you know, for somebody out there watching, I'd probably recommend this one. Just because I like this one the best. You know, I don't think that's going to be the group think on this. You know, it seems like this gets good reviews, but you know, there's always somebody, well, you know, it's a little big, which it is, but man, it's just a cool knife. Kind of looks like I don't know, it looks like a bayonet or something. I don't know if it looks like a bayonet. It's just a functional design. Thumb studs on both sides, both the same size. Yeah, you can see it's just a really, really cool three knives. Cool three knives. Whichever one you decide to choose, you know, it's completely up to you. This one, it just feels feather light compared to these two, especially this one. So this one right here, man, you can drop it and feel more like you're going to hurt the concrete than the knife. Cool blade. Very cool blade. It's kind of a Bowie knife blade, which I really like. I said this handle is just, you know, the way it's got these dips right here, right there, makes it a little bit harder to carry. You can see this knife is just all around bigger, but it sits flat up against your leg and stuff, whereas this one doesn't, has a tendency to roll a little bit. So that may be why I don't like to everyday carry this one as much. Your mileage may vary on that. It's completely up to you. It's a nice thumb ramp right here. The finger twirl isn't as good on this one, on the Bush Ranger, as it is on this one. This one you can get a little bit better. You don't feel like you're going to cut yourself. So, you know, you can still choke up on it like that. And, and get a good grip on it. Or you can do a regular grip. You know, you could even come back like this to get a little more. You know, if something happened, I don't think I would do that, but you could if you had to. Get a little more reach. You know, as far as the durability of these knives, I mean, there's guys that hate cold steel for, you know, whatever reason. I have never had a problem with them. In fact, I embrace it. I love them. They're great knives. I can't really think of too many knives that compete with this one, in my humble opinion. I'm sure there's ones out there, but you know, I'm a big knife guy, but you know, I'm not like up on the new fashion, you know, of whatever may be the new craze of today. You know, I've had Bucks and Spydercos and Kershaws and Bokers, lots of cold steels, you know, Swiss Army knives. You know, never had a. I know I have had a SOG. CRKTs, I've had quite a few of those. I've never had a Benchmade. I've never had a Benchmade. Just most Benchmades just don't connect with me. Don't know what it is. I mean, they're cool. You know, like the Griptilians and stuff. Those are nice. But you know, this, in my opinion, right here will decimate a Griptilian, but at the cost of, you know, quite a bit of weight. You know, you may not be willing to pay for that weight. You know, most of your cutting is going to be done up here anyway, so I'm not really sure why some guys, you know, they want, you know, those little bitty small blades, which those are cool, man. A little bitty small blade has got a lot of use, and they're light, and you know, just those little bitty small blades are just awesome. But you know, I'm a bigger blade guy. You know, any kind of prying or anything, you know, you can do with this knife and not having to worry about anything. And the edge retention's more than adequate for everyday carry. I've heard that the sharpening on these are, you know, pretty tough. Not undoable, but pretty substantial to resharpen it if you really mess it up. So keep that in mind. You know, that's 35 yen, and this CPM 20 CV is supposed to be a real bear to sharpen. You know, it's because it's so much harder. So that's something that you pay off for edge retention is, you know, it's harder to sharpen them. And I think this steel is an all-around really good steel. It's not the best, and there really is no best, because, you know, edge retention means a lot, but so does resharpening it, because nothing's going to last forever. So if you have something that's so sharp that once it does dull, if you can't resharpen it, you know, what good is it? You know, you kind of got to toss the knife. You know, if you got to take it in, have it professionally done. You know, I just take most of my knives and run it through one of those little yellow kitchen sharpener knives. You know, a couple, you know, and, you know, feel it and do a little hair test. And most of the time, that's how I touch it up, you know, and it's fine, you know, and that's from, you know, just dulling it up a little bit, and that does fine. It's not perfect, but it's quick and it's easy, and it works. It works for me. You know, one of the, you know, the pro sharpeners and stuff, you know, that, you know, consistent angle sharpener. You kind of got to know what you're doing on that. I really don't know how to use them. I mean, I could learn it, but, you know, unfortunately, I don't have that much interest in it. You know, like I said, those little sharpeners, they do fine for me. They do quite well for me. So, yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. A little bit of, you know, looking at it. These got triad. All three of these got triad locks, by the way. No surprise there. Some of the strongest locks in the industry. You know, no wobble at all with these. None. And, you know, that's kind of the Andrew Dimko design, you know, where the lock wears, you know, as you use the knife. But yeah. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. You know, specs, you know, they're all over the internet. The blade, you know, exact blade length and weight and stuff. It's more just a discussion out of the three, which one I like and why I like it. You know, and it's just personal preference, mostly. Nothing that's groundbreaking or anything, you know, my preference, but you know, I think some guys make it out to be that, you know, you can't conceal carry this. There's no way that you, no, you had to be crazy. No, you can. You can. It's easily done. Stick it in your pocket and forget about it. And honestly, you will forget about this knife in your pocket. That's how well it carries. It's a well-designed knife, I think. I know it's a well-designed knife. You know, that larger clip, I think, has a lot to do with it. It's flat. Sits up against your leg. So, anyways, yeah, I hope you liked the video. Thanks for watching.